What's up, everyone? Recently, I decided to try out some of the newer mods popping up in the Nexus. However, my mod list already contains over 1,600 mods and over 1,200 plugins, if you count all the merged plugins. So the next best thing I thought was head over to the webjack and find a nice pre-built stable profile that I can go ahead and use to try out some of the mods. So I ran across A.V.O. by ALTHRO. It has over 500 mods. And the description reads that the next generation version of A.V.O. seeks to bring the game up to modern standards without drastically changing the things that make Skyrim Skyrim. Featuring minimal tweaks to settlements, full Creation Club integration, comprehensive graphical overhaul, and no feature creep. But it says it's a good base to build off of, so here we go. The first thing that I noticed when playing Skyrim are the animation mods. To be fair, A.V.O. does include true directional movement by Urshan, but I uninstalled it just to show you, by comparison, how it looks like. Also for comparison, here is combat without true directional movement. It's actually pretty difficult to move around in combat, especially when you have multiple opponents, because you can't target lock or switch opponents. Without true directional movement, combat's pretty clunky, pretty boring, and, well, pretty dead. But hold on to your quiver, because here comes true directional movement by Urshan. This amazing mod allows you to move in any direction while in third-person perspective, in combat and outside of combat. It provides projectile aim assist, target lock, and mounted directional movement. And as you can see, it also makes it a lot easier for me to avoid my enemies' ranged and melee attacks. Here, I can easily track all my enemies and avoid their projectiles. I'm able to switch between targets by pressing a button configurable through the MCM menu, and activate and deactivate target lock as needed, which makes it easier to dodge and avoid my enemy's attacks. Here we display the target lock system in action. You can see that I can switch between each enemy easily by pressing a configurable button, the MCM menu. Being able to move freely in battle and avoiding your enemy attacks allows you to position yourself better to make your own attacks. As well, you have more control and range of the camera, which makes it easier to see and control your character in battle. I take this hit here, but I love how I'm able to pivot around and hop away. Movement Behavior Overhaul by iRetrospect allows you to experience realistic movement with enhanced behaviors, allowing for proper direction transition, momentum stop, and procedural leaning. I have to say, this is one of my favorite mods, and I definitely can't play Skyrim without it. Not only do your character's movements seem much more realistic, but I also feel like it gives me greater overall control, and it works great with true directional movement. Crouch Sliding by Nick and Neck, another mod that I just don't want to play Skyrim without. This mod is so much fun. It adds in a crouch slide seen in a lot of the modern shooter games today. You execute it while you're sprinting, and you press the sneak key to slide. It sends your target into a ragdoll state and gives you iframes, which essentially makes you invincible, so it can serve as a dodge. Smooth Random Jump Animation by Skyrim-Guild. This one I just found a couple of days ago, and I'm digging it a lot. I like how it rotates between 4 different jump animations randomly, and it also works well with double jump. I'm gonna see if I can try to either add in parkour in Skyrim jump animation or replace it with one of the other ones because I really like that one. Non-combat sneak idle, also by Skype. This is a really cool sneak idle animation. In order to trigger it, you can't have your weapon drawn. I just really like how the physics on the clothing work really well with this animation. And if you want to look like a badass ninja, this is the animation. Female player animations using Dynamic Animation Replacer by Jim Garden. This is the female version, but there's also a male version. These are 12-pack, 50-second long idle animations. Additional empty folders are provided within the mod directory, so you can add your own animations if you require. But there's no ESP or plugin required. Here are 4 out of the 12 animations provided by this mod. Regnante Animations, using Dynamic Animation Replacer by Sonderbane. This all-in-one animation provides walk, run, and sprint. So here is a comparison of vanilla walk, run, and sprint before we go on to Regnante. The mod author claims to have worked on this mod for over 150 hours, creating individual animations for 69 different suits and dresses. This is all female animations, and it's all relying on DAR and depending on what outfit you're wearing. EVG Conditional Idles by Everglade. This mod provides various animations that are triggered through different events and effects. Fatigue is triggered when you are below 50% stamina. There are also a couple of animations that are triggered through weather events. When it's raining, you'll notice that your character will cover their head with their shield if they have one equipped. There are 3 animations that have 8-way directional movement enabled. The rest are idles. One of these is the shield cover. The other one is when your character is walking in the cold, which is triggered dependent on when the actor is outdoors or in a blizzard. And then there's the modesty animation, which I will display last. One of the few idle animations that you'll find in this mod is the headache animation, which is triggered when your character is below 30% magicka. There are 2 possible animations for this idle, with a 50% chance to trigger either. This is the injured animation, which is triggered when your character is below 50% health. This is one of the animations that has 8-way directional movement enabled, which allows you to walk or run while said animation is playing. Lastly, here we have the modesty animation, which is also an 8-way directional movement, and it is triggered when you don't have any clothes on and you are outside of your player home. Shame on you. ADXP MCO Nordic Animation Complete Pack by Chemming1228. This mod replaces all the combat animations and combat and non-combat idle animations, as well as provide 8-way movement directional animations for each weapon. Dodge MCO DXP by Distar. I know you've noticed this one throughout the video. This is a must-have. If you're not using TK Dodge or any of the other Dodge animations out there, this one's pretty new. Check it out. Links to all the mods will be in the description. Give the video a like if you liked it, and subscribe to the channel if you would like to see more. Peace!